Hello, 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 and welcome to
Rockin the Love. I'm Gil, and that's
Robyn.
Oh, that's right. There we go. That's us. We're here today talking about all the good things in the world, talking about relationships and what else are we talking about? We're talking about good stuff, right?
We're talking about a lot of things, Gil. All right. I should know not to give you any directives before a show. Okay. All right. So we're going to take it from the top. We haven't been here in a couple of weeks. We're super excited to be back with you. I'm Robyn.
And I'm Gil.
And
this is
Love.
Rockin the Love.
All right. So we're going to ask you to do that stuff that they ask you to do. If you're here with us, please let us know. We'd love to talk to you. We've missed you. I feel like we haven't been here for weeks, which is accurate. We haven't.
Yeah. We missed two.
We missed two. Did we miss two only or three?
Just two, I believe.
Huh.
Just two, according to our producer.
It seems like a lot. Hopefully y'all missed us a little bit too. Anyway, but we're very excited for our show today, where we have with us Donna Gershman, who will be talking about healing. We'll be discussing healing.
Yes, and I am most interested in our title today, which is "Be Wrong to Be Well." So very seldom do we tell people to be wrong. So I'm interested to see where this goes.
It's fascinating that you would say very seldom do we tell people that. I guess that's true. Very seldom do we tell people that, but it seems like I'm going to use the general we. We think that a lot about people.
Well, we think they're wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I think more of it as, to be wrong to be well has something to do with my being wrong. Not what I think of others, but how I view my own activity.
It's all about you.
And I don't suggest that other people be wrong generally. And this sounds like we're giving them a command to be wrong.
A command or permission?
Very good. Permission. That may be it right there. That may be it.
Well, let's not speculate, because I highly doubt that's as interesting as we think it is. So Gil and I were gone for a couple of weeks. We had an amazing vacation in Costa Rica, and we spent 3 weeks together, which was a lot of time. It was a lot of time.
It is a lot of time.
Because we've lived apart now. It'll be a year in August. And so a 3-week block of time is a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was really fun because we did stuff here in Albuquerque, and then we went on vacation. And so we had a variety of things that we did. It was fun. Got to hang out with people in different situations and then be by ourselves. So it was really good.
Yeah. Now you've been home for a couple of weeks. I mean, home
week and a half. Yep. And you've been home in Oakland. So how is it? How you doing? Tell me how your week's been.
My week, I feel like it's been just reintegrating into being here, period. The thing about our vacation was this was a vacation like Gil and I really haven't done, where we really didn't do work or computer or anything. We may have we checked our emails, and we may have sent an email or something like that, but we didn't do projects. Usually I have projects to complete, which I had, but I didn't do it. I sat,
Thank you.
Waited to see monkeys and sloths instead. And so that was very, very different for us. So coming back and having all the things to do again it's really interesting, because I was telling Gil and another friend or some friends last night that, like, I was super aware when we went to Costa Rica, and as soon as I got there, I was super aware how different my body felt. I was aware that my aches and pains weren't aching and paining that like it was a whole different um, permission to just be and to let go of whatever I thought I had to do or I needed to get done because I had already made the commitment that it wasn't happening. So that was a really interesting thing. And so to come back and to try to figure out my relationship to everything now and how I want to be and what I'm going to do or what I'm going to change or if I'm going to change anything is super fascinating.
Now it's interesting because I didn't have that same experience in terms of, my body feeling relieved. However, when I got back, I had about 3 days of back pain like I haven't had in ages. So,
And you had a
it was
different
like that
experience.
sense.
You had a different experience.
Yeah.
Because Gil, what Gil's not saying is he went on vacation and immediately got sick. So he laid in bed for most of the week, except when he forwarded through and went ziplining because he felt better that day. But I mean, for the most part, you did a totally different thing. So, I'm not going to psychologize you, but, whether it was that you couldn't be on vacation without being sick or doing, whatever it was, your body did it a different way, or whether you wouldn't have done it that way. And I don't know.
It's all good. I felt extremely, and I still feel renewed and rejuvenated, and I'm still processing things from the time, and I think it's good. So I'm excited to be back and be doing things at work, be doing things here, and I don't know. I think we should probably, go on to some good news and see what we can find out for the world here
Let's
while
do it.
we've been away. What you got?
No, tell me what you got. This is our segment. This is our segment where we talk about the good news and what's going on in the world, because everybody can find the bad news everywhere they turn if you're looking for it. So, what do you have?
Well, I have some very good news. And this follows our vacation. When we were going through vacation and headed home, Robyn showed me her bumps from the variety of bites that she had from mosquitoes or whatever else was in the air. Well, you will be happy to know, my dear, that they have developed a weave which is impermeable to the mosquito. And that's actually much tougher than it seems, because the mosquito has little razor sharp things on the edge of that needle type thing that it puts into you. And it also is able to bend that needle. So, and go through things. But they've created a weave now, and they're working on
What's a
perfecting
weave?
it. A weave for fabric, so that they actually have a fabric so you can wear it. It would be like wearing leggings or something like that. And they couldn't get through it because most fabrics, other fabrics are not a deterrent at all.
Yeah, someone had that on the trip. Ricky had that. She had,
You had some of it?
Yeah, she had a jacket or out pants or something that she had bought that were supposed to do that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't seen it before. And supposedly they haven't been producing this particular version of it. So it's touted to do many good things for the for places like we were in, so that diseases don't spread, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah, that's
there
great.
you go.
That's great.
Yeah.
So mine is that the archways in St. Louis.
The archway, yeah, the arch, St. Louis Arch.
Yeah, the St. Louis Arch. They turn the lights off at the Gateway Arch every night during this month, the month of May, to assist birds in migrating. And over 325 species of birds migrating through St. Louis or to St. Louis, and generally they just do it for a couple of weeks, but they're doing it for the month. And I guess they're also trying to find a new way to do the lights, because the lights go straight up and it disorients their pattern. And so it's been causing birds to become extinct. And, I do this on the heels of Costa Rica because there were so many amazing birds and bird sounds. And I was really aware. One of the things I was aware of in Costa Rica was Gil and I talked about how desensitized we are in a way to certain things. Like in Costa Rica, we kept feeling like we'd be on the river in a boat going to our hotel, and it felt kind of normal. And there's all this jungle and what it really felt like was like the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland. You kept expecting someone to jump out of the bushes or the hippo to be there or something, which is, I know it's really, I don't want to label it, but it's an interesting, I'm going to call it American perspective, because that's what I feel like it is. And the same with the birds. Like there were all these birds and bird sounds and everything. And it felt like when I was sitting there listening, it really felt like I was listening to a meditation tape. And I thought, except that when I listen to a meditation that has nature tape, that has nature sounds, I don't hear those as all those birds. I just hear the sounds, So it was really becoming aware of all the different things that are really going on that I tend to just gloss over. And so I love it when we do these kind of stories that really show that people are really becoming aware of how important it is, and corporations and companies and cities and states, of how important it is to maintain the balance of nature and to honor it. So that's why I picked that story. That's
nice.
Yeah, nice. It is nice. It is nice. So we don't want to delay. We want to get to our guest. So we're going to take a break. We're going to go to commercial, grab something to drink or whatever you need. You may even need a pen and pencil because she's a very intelligent woman. She might say something you want to write down, not to mention the details of how you can get in touch with her. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back right here on New Thought Media Network. And we're back. I'm Robyn.
And I'm Gil, and welcome everybody back to Rockin the Love this Wednesday, the 24th of May, 2023. We want to invite you once again just to let us know where you are participating from and invite you to join into the conversation. You'll want to do that as we move forward.
We know you're out there. We can see you. So just say hello. Say hello in the chat and let us know you're here.
Hi, Johnny. So we're really happy today. We have with us today Donna Gershman, who is a good friend of ours. And that's not why she's here. She's here because she is an intuitive healer, and she has been seeing clients and praying and helping people find their way to health and healing through many things that one would think wouldn't be easily done. And so she has a philosophy that there's really no need for disease. We can deal with it. So she's had some incredible results directly of the kind of the people she's worked with. And most of all, she just brings her love and her light to everything she does. So Donna's coming to us today from Southern California. Thank you for joining us.
Yay!
Yay, Donna.
Happy to be here.
Oh, look, Taffy's here. Hi, Taffy.
Hi,
Sherry
Taffy.
Lynn. Reverend Sherry Lynn. Okay.
Wow.
See,
Let me just say that you
Seattle.
two look vacationed.
Yes, we vacationed.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. There's
I have to
increasing
tell you,
health.
along with that, I just have to tell you that somebody was telling me I looked vacation. They've been telling me for a couple of weeks, you look like you're youthing. You look like you keep getting younger. And the other day I got carded.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God. And I was like, they must card everybody. But the guys in front of me, they didn't card, and they were like in their 30s. I was like, all right, I'm taking it. Forget it. I'm not going to analyze it. So,
They don't even card me when
vacations.
they don't even card me when I'm looking for the senior discount. So,
All right. Okay. So Donna's here, and Donna is an amazing practitioner of many things. So look, and Robyn is
Robyn. It's another Robyn we know.
Robyn with a Y and Gil with 2 L's. There you go. You got an extra L in the deal. Okay. So and the gang's all here. I feel good.
Yay.
All right. So Donna. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. So I'm gonna ask you a general question that I just want to know the answer to. How long have you been a healer?
Well, I had no idea I was going in this direction in my life. It came as a complete surprise to me. And it wasn't a welcome surprise either. I just want to say I definitely had some resistance to it at first, but I had a surprise visit back in 1998 from Jesus. And I didn't believe in Jesus at the time. I just didn't know. I grew up in Judaism. Jesus was not discussed. I was not taught about Jesus. I didn't know that even Jesus was real. But I had an experience where I had a real face-to-face with Jesus. And it was a life-changing event. And after that, I went on a big pursuit to learn everything I could about Jesus, like what he said, because I knew he was real now. Like prior to that, I didn't even know he was real. So, and what he said to me that day was, I know you don't believe in me, but that's okay. That's okay. I just want you to know that I love you. And then filled me with a love that consumed me and was so big, there was no room for anything else. And it changed me. It did. It changed me. And sorry, I don't talk about it that much. And when I talk about it, it brings me back there and it's really moving to me. But, I went on a pursuit and I tried to figure out what Jesus said while he was here, because I thought this guy didn't try to change me. He didn't try to ask me for anything. He didn't want me to do anything. He just wanted me to know that I was loved. It was pure unconditional love. And we hear about pure unconditional love, but how often do we actually experience it? Really, like in our bodies, filled up like that. So, I started to read about Jesus and what he had said, and I learned a few things, and and they were really important. And one was year gods, which I was kind of blown away by, like, what? And then it is done unto you as you believe was another one. And when I really was with that concept, I knew it was true. I absolutely knew that what Jesus told us was true, that our beliefs mattered, our thoughts mattered, and that whatever we were believing, whatever we were thinking, would be our experience, would become our experience, our individualized experience. And that we have free will, and so we can choose whatever beliefs we want to believe and think whatever thoughts we want to think, but that becomes our experience. So Jesus was kind of giving us a clue that it is done unto you as you believe means, make sure you're believing things that lift you up, that remind you of who you are, that allow you to live a high vibrational life. And the other thing that Jesus said, I can't believe I'm talking about Jesus. Honestly, this is like a shocking thing that's happening right now. I do once in a while talk about Jesus, but, not that much. But the other thing that Jesus said that was profound to me was, greater things than these shall ye do. Mm-hmm. And he was saying greater than what he did. He was telling us that we could live a life and do things even greater than what he did. And he raised the dead and healed the blind. And so I was kind of stupefied by all this, because I wondered, why aren't more people, it felt to me that many people may believe in Jesus, but they didn't necessarily listen to him. And they didn't necessarily follow what he said. So it's not enough to believe in Jesus.
So what was it that you did from that experience that then shifted?
I decided to put it to the test. I thought, I want to see if this is real, because what if it is? What if we can do these things that Jesus said? I mean, I got to at least, the guy visited me. I didn't feel like that was an accident. I felt like he visited me. I got to take this seriously. And so the first thing I did was experiment on a plant. I had a plant that was broken, and I had it for years, and it was one of those bulbs that would sprout up every year, and then it would get too big and it would break. And so I was like, I'm going to use this plant. So I started praying over the plant and, telling it its inherent wholeness, and nothing worked. Like, this was an all-day project, and everything I did, nothing worked. And I got really frustrated, and I'm saying to Jesus, you told me this works, like, help me out here, dude. So I got really still, and I just decided that the plant was whole, that it didn't matter what it looked like. It didn't matter what my judgment was about it. What was more important is what I believed inherently about this plant, And so I decided that the plant was whole. And I really affirmed it and affirmed it and affirmed it and affirmed it and affirmed it until my mind took it. and it believed it. I brought it from here down to here. And I embodied this knowing about the plant. And the plant stood straight up in the air and never broke again. And it rocked my world. Because I thought, this works. Oh my God, this works. Like, and if I could do this, what else could I do? And that was in 1998. And then, and I was on track already. I was at Agape in classes to become a licensed spiritual practitioner at the time. But when that happened a year before I graduated, I thought, well, maybe I'm supposed to use what I know now, to help others heal. And then I had a lot of demonstrations of healings. But I do attribute it to getting a lot of help from the other side. I have my own self do nothing. Right. And so I can't take the credit and I can't take the blame. I just allow things to come through me. And I have been channeling since I was in my 20s. But that was also like a gift I didn't really want. And I actually shut it down for many years. And then when I became a practitioner, I had to learn to modulate with that gift a little bit. And so now I do channel with my clients and things. They don't often know that, and it's not something I'm always telling them, but that's what happens. And so, I'm really able to move them along towards their healing, as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. You're talking about you had to just decide and continue to reaffirm until you yourself took hold of the sense that the plant is whole.
I had to know it. I had to know
yeah.
it.
And I've been reading by some of the earlier folks in this movement and other places who basically describe the same experience in terms of healings that they've been involved in, where they prayed until they hit the place where they just absolutely knew and they didn't need to see anything or ask any more questions. They just were comfortable and let it happen from there.
Yes.
Walk away from it, if you will.
Well, my dog Scruffy got diagnosed with terminal cancer when he was 9 years old. And this was in right after I graduated as a practitioner. It was in January of 2000. And I went into like a panic attack, when the doctor told me that he had cancer throughout his body and warned me not to spend money on this, like don't start throwing a lot of money at this, Donna, because, the dog, there isn't a realistic chance for him, was basically what he was saying to me. And that was on a Friday. And I went into a spin, like freaking out about it, in fear, in dread, in, just everything. And Monday rolled around and I had to make a decision about whether I was going to call this oncologist, this veterinarian oncologist. And I was really back and forth on it. My head was really involved. I was really up here, thinking, And I looked at my dog and I said, what do I do? What should we do? And he looked at me and with absolute clarity, I heard, don't go there. That's what he said to me. Don't go there. Okay. And I knew what he meant. He was saying to me, why are you believing that? So what? What does this have to do with the truth? You know this stuff. Don't go there. Don't go there in your thinking mind. Don't go there in your body. Don't go there. Don't go to the oncologist. Don't go to cancer. Don't go to fear. Don't go to separation. Don't go. Just don't go. Don't go. Do not go. And in that moment, I really had this awakening, like a real revelation. And I was like, oh my God, like I took the bait. I took the bait. You're right. I took the bait. I forgot everything I was taught. I forgot everything that I knew, because when it's somebody really close to you and somebody you love, it's natural. You're afraid. You go into fear and separation. But my dog woke me up. And in that moment, I decided I'm not going there. I mean, I just let the whole thing go. I let the whole story go. It was not in my awareness anymore. It was gone. I was like, bye-bye. I don't need that story anymore. I don't need to go down this path anymore. And in that moment, I knew my dog didn't have cancer anymore. It was gone. It was completely gone. And my dog never had cancer again. He lived another 9 years till he was 18. I took him to vet visits regularly just because that's what I did. And my vet would want to take blood every single time because he didn't believe it. He would be like, do you mind? Can I just take? And I'm like, why? He said, because just for myself, Donna, just for myself. Like he wanted to really, he couldn't believe it, And I'm like, he doesn't have cancer. What can I tell you? I'm sorry. He doesn't have it, And he never did again. And that was part of my journey, but a lot of things happened. And I realized the power of the mind. And we give far too much power away to the illness, to the disease, to the circumstance, to whatever. And we don't maintain our own power. Our own truth has to come into play. We have to remember the power that we are.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because people don't always know how to do that.
Right.
So
they also don't know to do it.
Right. So I am curious about the title.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us about that in regards to how to live into that?
We have to be willing to be wrong in order to be well. And what that means is this. We all see ourselves, our world, our circumstances through a straw. And that is the totality of all of our beliefs. Whatever we've taken on, whatever we believe in our, in this lifetime, we bought into from our, our childhood, our parents, people in our lives, television, whatever. We have what I call a matrix of beliefs, and we are functioning under that matrix of beliefs, all the totality of what we believe and think. And our body demonstrates the totality of those beliefs. So we have to get this working for us. Otherwise, it's automatically working against us. Because we live in a universe of infinite possibilities. Ye are gods. Greater things than these shall you do. In other words, we're unlimited. We're unlimited. But this only serves to limit us. Our thinking minds only serve to limit us. So in our own little matrix, everyone believes that they're right. Isn't that right? We're not walking around. Everyone believes that their beliefs are right, that they're true, and that's it. And they're functioning under their belief system. But what I would call those beliefs are small t, truths with a small t, based on our opinions, based on other people's opinions, based on our personal experiences, based on what people told us, whatever. Those are truths with a small t. They're basically opinions. But then there's a greater truth with a capital T. What Jesus knew, what God knows, what the universe is. And that is the only truth that matters to me anymore. That's the only truth I want to live by. That's the only truth I want to think. That's the only truth I want to know. That's it. Everything else is just at the level of story. It doesn't really matter. So if you want, like Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. In other words, you can't think the same thoughts and expect a different experience. So you have to go to a higher reality. So in order to heal your body, you have to come out of your thinking brain. You have to come out of the thoughts that you're thinking. You have to quiet the mind, which is why meditation is such a powerful tool, because it quiets the thinking mind, which is only a disaster, honestly. It's just a limiting element in our life. If we could just quiet the mind and live from our center, connected to spirit, quiet up here and listening in here, our lives would be efficient and they would be filled with light. Our lives, our experiences, life would change. We would be living in a higher vibrational reality. But we're functioning from here most of the time. People, everyone has thousands and thousands of thoughts all day long, and almost none of them have anything to do with truth with a capital T. So we're all living through these straws, and we all think we're right. Our beliefs are right, but our beliefs are only limiting us. So I would rather be wrong about what I think I'm right about so I can be well. Does that make sense? I don't want to be attached to my limiting beliefs, my fear-based beliefs. I don't want to be attached to that because they're not getting me what I want in my life, in other words. Mm-hmm. So if your thoughts aren't working for you to heal you, be willing to be wrong about them. So there is a truth that will never change. And those truths are the one you want to be glued to. Those are the truths you want to walk in the world and embody. And when you embody those, you're free. You know that expression, the truth sets you free? Mm-hmm. Well, it's real. It's absolutely real. Truth with a capital T, not the little t, which is just our opinions. That keeps us in bondage. That keeps us looking through the straw. But we all know there's more life outside of the straw.
Right.
And that truth is good news. There's no bad news in that truth. So the good news is, the truth really is on our side. So when you know what the truth is, then you're free.
Right. So it's really a question of being in alignment with source, our source, the divine, mm-hmm. or being out of alignment. And when we're out of alignment with source, then we create illness, we manifest things that we don't want in our life because we're gravitating towards the small t, so to speak.
That is right. And so all illness is not a curse. It is not meant for anyone, not a single person, to suffer for even 1 second. It is an opportunity to wake up to how you're not in alignment with the truth. Because if you're not in alignment with the truth and you're functioning under the small t, under your matrix, and that is your full throttle experience in life, going up and down like a roller coaster with whatever you're thinking or whatever's going on in the world or whatever you're being told, that's not living your highest vibrational life. You don't want to come here on this planet and live your entire life that way. So illness comes along to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, there's more. There's more. We want you to live a full throttle life. So it's not that it's meant as a punishment or a curse or that you're here to suffer. It's a real opportunity. And if you embrace it, I always tell my clients, I'm not here to solve, to heal your cancer or your illness or whatever it is. I'm here to help you heal your life. Because when you get into alignment, everything changes. Your life gets brighter and filled with light and joy, and it begins to assimilate to your new ideas, your new understanding. And that's when the good stuff starts to happen. That's when life gets really awesome. There are people living on this planet that are living full throttle, bright lives, where they know who they are and whose they are and are living in the light. And granted, it isn't easy to stay there sometimes. It's very easy to get pulled back into the story level of life, into the opinions. But with a strong spiritual practice, you can learn to keep coming back to the truth with a capital T and allowing that to be your knowing. So take it from a belief to your knowing, and then it becomes how you walk in the world. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me ask you a question. So generally when you're working with someone who's come requesting a healing, are you always working with the person that they're requesting the healing for? For example, something like if a person would come to you and let's just say that their parents had signs of dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. How do you work with something like that?
Well, if the person with the condition is actually willing to be supported, then I obviously can work with them. But sometimes they're not. And so like a family member is coming to me and asking me to help them, but the person's not willing. They don't believe, they're not there, In that case, I work with that individual to help them so that they're living in the truth and holding the highest space around their family member or loved one.
Okay. So one of the questions that comes up for me around this is the reality that appears that we all transition from this life, we all move on out of this body, and the other piece sort of related to that is it or in your experience, is there ever a time when healing looks different than the eradication of whatever the condition is?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're all going to leave here, right? My own message, my message is you don't need to suffer, period. Okay. And you have way more power than you think you do. And you can choose. But also the soul level has something to say about it too. The soul level, when a spirit is ready to go, they're ready to go, and they can go any way they choose to go. And there's no failure in dying. That's not a failure to die. But for me, when I'm working with my clients, I want them to know they're at choice. And I want them, if it comes to pass that they would like to leave, that this is their choice, then let's have a good death, man. Let's create the death you really want. One that's filled with light and love and joy and support and whatever, so, but I really, I am really here to help people heal their bodies. And I know how to do that. And so I really focus on that. And I really hold the space for an individual so that they always know the infinite possibilities where they are. Did I answer your question?
Kind of. Yeah. Okay. Close.
Close. Okay. What did I miss?
No, you did. I just think it's a conundrum for me sometimes, personally, when I look at all of this. And that is how to put it all together. And of course, that's one of my issues is I like to figure out how. That's just not always productive.
How to put together what?
Well, there is no reason for disease, and we have the power over all of it, and bodies break down at different points, particularly in people that are approaching a time of leaving it,
Well, I want to also thank you for bringing that up, and it's a fair question. Earlier, you asked me before we were on air about a book, and I I have a belief that at some point disease will be irrelevant. We will not, in consciousness, we will evolve to such a degree that we will never experience, we won't have to experience illness anymore, because we'll be awakened to the state where we know we have choice and can choose. But in the meantime, where we are in consciousness, yes. But aging's a big one too. You know, people come in with all these beliefs about aging that are so limited. I'm here to tell you, oh my God, it only gets better and better and better. There is nothing to resist about aging, nothing. We should be embracing it, because I'm telling you, I'm loving my life, and I'm a lot older now than I was then, you know, earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in my 6th decade now, and I'm just thinking life is just better and better and better. So why would I dread getting older? You know,
Right.
when when it's my time, I'm just going to be like, this was awesome. And I'm ready for the next experience, you know? So I just feel like there's so many ways to hold this idea of age. You know, we all know age is just a number. And but how do you cancel out all the thoughts of the world that tell you that age as you get older is, you know, you have nothing to look forward to? The reason elderly people get Alzheimer's and dementia, and the reason they get arthritis, and the reason they get all those things, is because their idea of aging is not supporting them. Their beliefs are working against them. You understand? So if you don't see a bright future, you start to dread the future as you get older. You know, you have these ideas that it gets worse, or things break down, or you're going to, whatever, you're not going to be as useful or productive on the planet, or your best years are behind you. And with that consciousness, unfortunately, has done it to you as you believe. So I'm here to say, adopt a new consciousness. You are not stuck with the thoughts that you have. Just because you believe them to be true doesn't mean they are true in the big picture. They're only true in your mind, because you have a matrix of beliefs. But Jesus was telling us, choose thoughts that are going to lift you up. Choose thoughts where you remember who and whose you are. God is within all of us. That makes us perfect. That makes us whole. That makes us complete. Nothing's ever going to change that. Not age, not a dis-ease, not any circumstance in our life.
So one of our practitioners here at the center where I'm serving just did a workshop and a series on the truth about aging, or exuberant aging, and one of the pivotal points where she really decided she needed to move forward with this for her own life was after she went to two different doctors about something going on with her body, and they both said, well, you know, you're 80.
Yes.
And she said, she thought, wow, that's what we're believing, you know?
Right.
And totally shifted it and changed her whole attitude and her whole health, if you will, from that point forward, because she shifted in a whole nother way of looking at things. And I think that's really important.
Oh my gosh.
And I wanted to highlight what Sherry said. That thank you for your talk. I'm feeling anxious. I have a lot going on in my life right now. Some may say not a big deal, but my body feels different. I appreciate your share, especially about Jesus. LOL. I am feeling calm in this moment.
Yes, Sherry, you are not your thoughts about you. You know, it's what brings us down is our thinking mind. And when we catch on to that reality, we realize that thinking mind, you know, is a devil. It's a demon. I call it a robber, right? It robs you of the light. It robs you of the joy. It robs you of the truth. And so really, you have two options: to quiet that thinking mind, get still, connect to your source, because it's always there. It's always there supporting you. It's always for you. It wants you to thrive. It is on your side. This is all good news. So the good news is this isn't telling you the truth. It's lying to you. When you're anxious, it's because you're listening to this and it's lying to you. Anything that brings you down is a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. That's all you need to know. So you quiet that mind, or you take those weeds out of your garden, you pull the weeds out and you replace it with seeds of truth, like God is for me, or the universe is for me, whatever your knowing of your higher power is, that power is for me always, 24/7, 365. It is never against you. You are not here to suffer. So if you're suffering at your own hand by your thinking mind. So our thoughts, when we're in our thoughts, they feel very real and very compelling. And then we're living under them. But you can come out of this. There's an expression in the Bible, come out amongst them. What it meant was come out of this. Come out of this limiting thinking. The brain is not your friend unless you get it working for you. So assume it's working against you. Pull the weeds out of your garden. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve. This happened to me when I was 12. Whatever it is, you can let all that go right now, and you can allow the light. The light is waiting for you. The light is waiting for your yes. The light is waiting for you just to get out of the way. All of us are in our own way to some degree. And we have to know and have tools that show us how to get out of the way so we can allow the light. And when we allow the light, everything changes in our life. We walk in a much higher vibration. Every illness and disease carries a vibration. If you raise your vibration above the vibration of the illness has nothing to sustain itself. This is what Einstein was saying. Go to a higher vibration, go to a higher truth. When you do that, your body will then acclimate to the new consciousness, and it will start to shine and light will come through you. And I don't know about Gil and Robyn, you guys know. I know you know because I know there are a lot of people walking in the planet in the light, and you can see the light coming from them. And those are the people you say, I want what they're having, And that's what happened to me many years ago when I found Agape. I saw Ricky Byer sitting at the piano with this big light coming from her. And it wasn't a light from the studio. It was a light from her. And I said, I want what she's having. And then I just stayed open. I stayed open to the truth. I came out of my own limiting thinking. All the ways that I was bringing myself down and limiting myself in my life, I got out of the way and things changed. And now I teach other people how to get out of their own way. And I'm here to tell you, it is not hard. It's just, you just have to have the tools to know how, and you have to be vigilant. You have to weed your garden every day. There's no question. The most evolved people on the planet, they have a strong spiritual practice. Every day we do it so that we can stay on the mountaintop and then be able to help others get there too. So I hope this has been helpful.
It is. And I just want to share, John said, your words of truth like you are beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And I accept. Thank you.
He said, go, you are so right. Pull weeds, plant truth. And, I just want to say, knowing that we know John and we know Sherry Lynn, these are two of the brightest lights you could ever imagine, Donna. These are people that shine their light for others. And so I feel like you've, re-energized, re-up them. I don't know.
Re-upped.
Whatever.
Yes.
But I mean, and it's so good to hear those words and to remember that is the truth for all of us all the time, even when we don't feel like it, even when we don't want to play. It's about getting back to that place where we say yes, and we know the difference between capital T and small t.
Yes. And you're not your thoughts about you, no matter how compelling they are. That's all you need to know. Your thoughts are lying. And, just develop a practice where you quiet your mind every day and be still and connect to your inner source and resist coming up here. Just resist it,
Right.
And anytime you need support, reach out to people who can lift you up and remind you of who you really are. And what
Absolutely.
the truth actually is with a capital T.
And so with that, I want to put Donna's information back up on the screen so that you can get in touch with her if you would like to connect with her. I can't believe it's been an hour already, but
Wow.
it has. And we will definitely, you're definitely welcome to come back anytime, Donna, especially when you finish the book.
Yeah.
We'll have you talk about the book. And we're just so grateful. So
See you in 20 years. No. Gil is giving me a hard time about it.
Don't let the little T talk on this show.
No, the little T is not going to rule me on that one.
All right. Okay. So I think that's what we've got to say for today. Is that right?
I would like to, if you don't mind me just telling about, I do have a podcast myself, and it's called Living It Up with Donna Gershman and Katie Miller. And it's fairly new. We just put out our first podcast about a month ago, and it just got great reviews. And I'm just grateful to be of service in this way to help people live a high vibrational life. And you can catch the next one's coming out in the next week. So I'm happy and proud of that. And you can catch it on iHeart or Spotify. Just Google my name and it'll come up, or, put it in the search bar or whatever. Audible. It's on all the major podcast streamers.
Great. Yes, I actually saw the first episode. So
I think that's how I'm here.
Oh yeah, we never thought of you before.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's my honor to be on your show because you're doing such wonderful work in the world. You always have. You've always been of the highest service to humanity, and this program is no exception. And I'm just grateful to be of service with you. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. We feel the same. And Taffy,
so
I love you guys. We love you too, Taffy.
Yep. I just want to say everybody has seen your number and how to get a hold of you. And if anybody wants to do that, please, I encourage you to go ahead and check out the podcast as well.
Yeah.
And we will have you back again.
Well, thank you.
We didn't get very far. We got more to go.
Oh, we barely touched anything. But I do free consults, by the way. So I will do a free consult with anyone who just wants to kind of get a feel for the work. And it's fun. I mean, I don't think spiritual work should be hard. I think it should be fun and enjoyable and full of light.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so take that out into your week. Make your spiritual work fun, and know that you're living from the capital T place. Make sure you don't let any of those other thoughts in. And everybody just keep rocking the love, and we'll see you next week.